I'm sorry. See, night meditation. Well, once there was this guy who went out and got way too inebriated. In other words, he was drunk. He's walking through a wooded area around here, and he happened to a river, and really didn't know where he was, but this preacher was out in the river baptizing. And so he, kept walking, not really feeling anything. He was out in the river until he bumped into the preacher. And the preacher turned to him because he was kind of startled when he was bumping into him, and he about fell over because of the smell of the alcohol in the guy's breath. And he said, "Do you want to find Jesus?" And he said, "I do." And so he took the guy and dumped him in the river, brings him up. He says, "Have you found Jesus?" And he said, "No, I haven't found Jesus." And the preacher was kind of surprised at his response, so he dumped him again, a little bit longer this time. And he brought him back up and he said, "Have you found Jesus?" "Yeah, that's a good picture. Have you found Jesus?" And he said, "No, I haven't found Jesus." And so the minister was kind of a little bit ticked that he didn't find him. So he put him down and had him down for quite a while, almost 30 seconds. And the guy started kicking and wailing under the water. And so he brought him back up and he said, "Have you found Jesus, brother?" And the guy wiped his eyes and said, "Are you sure this is where he went in?" Let's say our statements of truth together, okay? I am a child of God. I am deserving of good in my life. I am accepting my good now. Today I'm going to talk about the law of vision/possession. It's if you've been in Unity for a long time, you may have heard of it. Probably don't hear of it hardly at all anymore because the law of mind action really kind of has taken over this, but this is an important law that we need to understand, especially if we understand the law of mind action, which is thoughts held in mind produce after their time. I know you've heard that many times from us, so you all know it, it just didn't come to you real quick. So remember that though, thoughts held in mind produce after their time, the law of mind action. But the law of vision/possession really underlies the law of mind action, and it means a lot, so we need to understand that also. But if you'll notice, it says the law of vision/possession. It doesn't say the law of vision/possession. Okay? So that will be important here in a minute. First thing I want to tell you about this law is it's, like I said, a very old law. Of course, all laws of the universe have been around forever, and this is no different. This is just a spiritual law that we all can use in our lives to make it better. So, first of all, I want you to understand that the law of vision/possession uses some of the 12 powers, which we're going over this, at this time of the year. Right now, we've got the 12 power class, and if you want to know more about that, please join that class on Tuesday, either in the morning or in the evening. But the law of vision/possession entails using the power of understanding and the power of faith together. And most laws of the universe, all laws of the universe use a 12 power, one or more. But some of them use more of one or two 12 powers than the others. They all use all of them, but some of them are more focused on certain powers that we have, the abilities that we have in our life. So this one uses, though, the power of understanding and the power of faith in working for this law. So, to have things manifest in our lives, so go to the next slide. To understand the law of vision/possession, we have to first understand that it has nothing to do with material things. And that's key. That's why I said possessions a minute ago. It's possession. And the reason is because the law of vision/possession has to do only with us. It is all about you and you alone. It has nothing to do with outside of you. It has to do with understanding, with seeing the power that you have within you. Not only seeing it and saying, "Yeah, I've got this power." It's like the 12 powers, "Yeah, I've got this power." But actually possessing it. Possessing it and understanding that it is a part of you. Take something like your car or something. A lot of people like their car, get off on, having a nice car, whatever. When you pay that off, or even if you don't, if you buy it from a lot, You possess it. You're proud of it. You like it. Nobody's going to take it away from you, are they? But see, as we live a spiritual life in this physical being, sometimes we forget how powerful we are and the possession that we have, the Spirit of God within us, in our life. We forget that because we learn things that, well, you can't have this because you have to pay money for it. Or you can't have this because for whatever other reason you can't have it. Well, that's wrong, folks. Look, we're looking at a building right now as a congregation, as a consciousness of this congregation. We're looking at a building that is valued by the county at over $1 million. Now, I agree that that value is too high. Yet it was priced, listed at $790,000. We made a bid of $124,000. And listen, if we get this building, that's wonderful. Whatever building we end up with, though, is going to be wonderful because we are having the vision of having that building, and we are now growing into knowing how we can take possession of that. Now, even though that the law of vision / possession has nothing to do with an outer physical thing, we have to be able to vision it in here and take possession of that before it shows up out here. Okay? It's key. And so you can see how that ties in with the law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Very important law, and we're teaching it here, so that's good. Yeah, next slide, please. And this is a interesting thing, and this is really an old teaching, and it can be used, as I told you before, as what we say is metaphysical malpractice in unity, because this was very much the taught thing before, and now it's not, because we don't want. There are exceptions to this as far as the race consciousness. But the things you see outside in your life are a reflection of what you see in here. And sometimes that may be hard to understand and hard to accept. Say, well, I'm not getting everything I want in life. What are you telling me that for when out here isn't what I want to see? Well, it's because you're accepting what you see out there as being in here. When the truth of you, that you is less than, that has lack out here, that you see as lack, is not in here. You have brought it in here. The truth of you is that there is no lack in anything. That's the truth of you. The spiritual part of you that lives on further than this body will live on is going to know the truth, and that is unlimited. Unlimited. And if we can bring that into our physical understanding, then what would we be? We would be unlimited in every way. And that's why it's important for us to express that, to understand that up here and to express it out here. Just like the bills earlier we were paying when we get them. We want to be in that prosperous understanding. We want people to understand that, you give us credit, thank you. We're going to pay you once we get your bill. Thank you. We appreciate you. We want to be with you in that law of circulation. Okay. Charles Fillmore used to say this, and it's funny because he would say this after the Prosperity Bank. But people would come up to him saying, Charles Fillmore is the co-founder of Unity, and he would come up to, or people would come up to him unfamiliar with our teachings, his teachings, and say, I really need this $100. I need this to come through. And think of yourself. I really need that lottery. I need it to come through. Okay? Well, Fillmore understood the law of vision / possession. And he said, don't ask God for $100 when God had 1,000 in store for you. Be open to the goodness that God is. Remember, goodness, our first Unity basic principle, goodness and God, synonyms. Synonyms. So when we thank God, when we think of God in our body as a spirit, then what are we thinking? We should be thinking good things only. God doesn't have any time for thinking lack and stuff. That's something that's dreamed up by us humans, in our freedom of choice. It's dreamed up by us, an idea of lack. If you will look outside of you, you'll see that nature follows a particular course. Has nothing to do with anything else. I mean, there may be something that man-made does something to nature to stop it from creating. But if you look at nature, you look at all the trees, the beautiful trees around here. I think about it sometimes. seeing the beautiful trees, and Francie and I really enjoy it. And I know that some of you all have lived here for all your life and know nothing of it. But from Kansas, where we have a bunch of wheat fields, which they're beautiful in their own way, yet coming here in Oklahoma, these trees are pretty darn good looking, aren't they? Yeah. They really look nice. We enjoy them. But also, I find it funny because I kind of miss the wheat fields every once in a while, too. So everything has its own beauty. If we look outside of the tree, and here's how the law of vision and possession can happen if you're looking at nature. If we look outside and see in our own life, too, and see a tree and understand its beauty. Because a lot of people are into trees and things, and that's cool. And that's good. We can see the beauty. Yet we cannot just see the beauty. We have to understand, we have to take possession of how that beauty got there. There is a natural law that brought that beauty to that tree. And if we just look at the surface and see the tree, then we're missing out on what we can partake. We are a part of that law also, if we just live as a spiritual being. We're a part of that law. So we don't have to limit ourselves in any way. So, it was a famous thing that Fillmore said, and it's good to share that sometime. As spiritual beings, we are unlimited in every way, and if we limit ourselves in any way, then we are squelching our spiritual expression. We are squelching our co-creative power, and we are squelching why we are here. Because you were created in the image and likeness of God. And look at all the faces here. How can that be? We all look different. Well, God's pretty darn massive, isn't He? But if we look different, then understand this, that you were built, you were created to come here and express God in a specific way. If you don't express in that way, there's nobody else going to do it. You have to allow the God, the Spirit within you to express. And to know how the laws of the universe work is one of those ways. You have to know those laws. And it's nothing new. I love Fillmore on all his early books, and they took it out on some of his books, later versions, but on all his books that he wrote, in the very first of it, he would say, this that I'm teaching is nothing new. It's a spiritual law that's been around ever since humanity's been around, and before. And it's going to continue to be around. It's just us, what we're choosing to do. Are we choosing to look just at the tree and enjoy its beauty, which is great? Or are we understanding the law of that beauty? You see the difference? Am I making any sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I want to tell you what it says from the Bible, too. And I know this is a little bit long. But this is when Jesus was telling, where was it from? Did I get it from Luke? I think I got it from Luke. Anyway, this is where Jesus was sending out the disciples to do His work. And it says, as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out evil. Freely ye have received, freely give. Provide neither gold nor silver, nor copper in your purses, nor a bag for your journey, neither two coats, neither shoes, nor yet a staff, for the workman is worthy of his food. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go from there. And when you come into his house, greet it. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. It's too late to preach it. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. And if we take this and understand it in our life, it's a wonderful, wonderful teaching. This is Jesus telling His disciples what to do. Go out and talk to the people about the powers that you know you possess, about the laws of the universe that you know about. And you can do all these things. These things in greater you shall do. You can heal the sick. You can cleanse the lepers. You can raise the dead. You can cast out evil. Freely ye have received, freely give. Yet where does all that happen first? Where does that heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out evil? It has to happen within us first. We have to know the law of vision and possess it. We have to be healed. We have to be cleansed. We have to be risen from the idea that there is life. And then it's all over. Because we will know that we don't need the gold, silver, nor copper, or anything as far as possession. Because we possess what is greater. Remember Solomon in the Bible? When he was offered all the greatest things, what he would choose? What did he choose? Does anybody remember? Wisdom. You all are good. Wisdom. Well, wisdom isn't tangible, in a way. I mean, the funny thing about these laws are, we talk about it, and I want to be clear about possession and possession. But the funny thing, if you take possession of the law of vision, all the possessions will show up for you. It's so funny. I mean, you think about it, well, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, it does. Because I know, here's the deal, here's the difference. I'm not possessing a thing anymore, because I know it's all going to be provided to me. And more importantly, from the old way of thinking, the human way of thinking, that thing is not possessing me. That car is not possessing me anymore. I have a way of transportation. I don't have a certain vehicle. Okay, I have a way to get from point A to point B. That's all I need. Doesn't mean it's going to be ugly or anything. It could be a Cadillac, it could be the top of the line Cadillac, whatever you want. Okay? But it's all expressive, just as the law of the universe is. So, wait, before we go to that next one, I want to say something else about that. And this one was hard for me, being raised in Unity, third generation Unity. When I was a kid, and one of the reasons I did not get into ministry was because it hurt me physically to think that people out there would do something with spirituality to make it less than. It really hurt me. And I said, I talked to my mom and say, why don't people get this? Why don't people get this? I mean, it's easy. It's not that you have to be perfect right off, and I know there's a lot more personal responsibility in Unity than any other religion, but it's also telling you the truth. It's telling you what Jesus taught, not what Paul taught. Now, Paul had some great revelations about what Jesus taught, but Paul taught what he understood what Jesus taught. Jesus didn't say, I'm going to go die for your sins. I'm sorry, he didn't say that. He did not say that. Paul said that. And so if you're looking for that, that's the same thing, because he knew that not only outer things can't possess me, but I can't give my life. I can't be the sacrifice for you. Jesus knew that. He couldn't be the sacrifice for you. So if you go to somebody and talk to them about your religion, if they, because here it's talked about more down here than in most places. You talk and have a disagreement, and you leave and you say, okay, you don't get upset, don't get caught up in that. That's a physical thing. Don't get caught up in it. But as you leave, wipe your feet and just forget about it. And that's what I've had to learn. And it's a hard lesson. For me, it was. Okay, it may not be for other people, but for me, it was. Because I want people to enjoy the goodness that God is. I do. I want you to. And in order to grow as a consciousness of a church, we have to join in that. We have to know the law of vision, possession. So, okay. The law of vision, possession is about you. It is about claiming your God-given talents and abilities and possessing them and living from that knowing. It's all about you. Reverend Rick Warren said in one of his famous books, it's not about you. And in what he was talking about, it's true. But when it comes down to it, it is about you because you have the power to choose. You have free will. So you choose. Is it going to be good for you today? Or is it going to be something else? We're all where we're at. Well, we can make it. We can see the good in where we're at. And that's one of the important things about blessing those bills, is knowing where we're at. That's one of the important things about painting this sanctuary, is blessing, thanking for where we're at right now, before we move on. Okay? Be right in yourself before you move on. Next. The kingdom of heaven is here now. Within you. Within me. And in the midst of it all. You know, King James changed it to the midst of it all. But the original translation of that is in you. There's a big difference. Because the kingdom of heaven in you is different than in the midst of us all, because we're putting it out there. But it's everywhere. So King James Version was not wrong, but it was kind of like it led you to think it's out there. That's not what Jesus is saying. I accept my greatness as a child of God, and am going to use lost vision possession to claim my good now. Can we say this together in closing? Let's say it together. The kingdom of heaven is here now, within you, within me, and in the midst of us all. I accept my greatness as a child of God, and am going to use the law of vision possession to claim my good. God bless you. Amen. Amen.
And you will hear me hang. Put love in your heart. You see it shedding late. Well, please don't hesitate. Put love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for me. And you. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still children cry. Put a little love in your heart. You want the world to know we won't let hate grow. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. And the world can be better for me.